Now we will try to understand one important concept. Serious Fraud Investigation Office. And what are the offences that are cognizable under Companies Act? Because here, what is the importance of it? In fact, another occasion I was deliberating on fraud. So even the seminars which I deliberated earlier, I used to highlight this particular points to the audience wherever I happens to address on Companies Act, particularly on this particular aspects of compliance and the consequences of compliances. So now, since the fraud definition is very much defined under section 447, now all the more now it's important to understand what is the role of Serious Fraud Investigation Office under the Companies Act 2013, and also what is about cognizance of offence that has been referred under the provisions of Companies Act 439. Now, it is very important to understand Serious Fraud Investigation Office. Who is Serious Fraud Investigation Office under Companies Act 2013? In fact, if one has to understand, the Serious Fraud Investigation Office is not an authority that has been brought in by Companies Act 2013. The Serious Fraud Investigation Office is an authority. It was an external agency rather than authority under the earlier Act 1956. Because the Serious Fraud Investigation Office has been constituted by Ministry of then Ministry much before 2010. Okay. But they were an external agency who was involved only to investigate the affairs of the company and give the report to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. And thereon Ministry of Corporate Affairs will take it forward and see the report of the SFIO and deal with the matter as per the provisions of Companies Act by following the process of law. Now, the difference today is that after Companies Act 2013, the Serious Fraud Investigation Office is not an external agency anymore. Today, they are enforcement authority, not even an agency, they are an enforcement authority. That means today the Serious Fraud Investigation Office has got enormous power in hand. Today, it has been strengthened under section 211. Okay, and if you have to understand the power, it is really very interesting to note under section 212. It says the powers of Serious Fraud Investigation Office. Before going into the power, I wanted to give few points on what is cognizance of offence under Companies Act. The Companies Act very clearly says that under section 439 that notwithstanding anything stated in the Criminal Procedure Code, no offence shall be deemed as a cognizable offence except the offence as provided under subsection 6 of section 212. Only those offence as cognizable offence as per the section. If we go and see section 212 of the Companies Act subsection 6, it says the offence or cognizable offences wherever the section provides for liable for action under section 447, which is a fraud. So, wherever the action is liable, action of the officers or action of the company is liable for action under section 447, then that becomes a cognizable offence for the purpose of section 439. So, therefore, here very important to understand three things. One is cognizable offence. What is cognizable offence? Then the fraud. Third is a Serious Fraud Investigation Office. So here, how Serious Fraud Investigation Office come into picture? Because as I was referring, subsection 6, section 212 says what are the offences. That means the offences that are the actions that are liable under section 447 will be construed as a offences, should be taken as a cognizance. So who can file case or who can initiate the process to take action, to bring into action the offence to be cognizable? then the section 212 provides it is only the officers of SFIO and any other officers authorized by central government. Okay. Now if you can link what is cognizable offences and what is the role of SFIO. So not only this, the offence which is provided under section 212 is cognizable. Also if you see the sections relevant to the, as I was referring, section 439, the cognizable offence which states what is offences that has to be deemed as treated as a cognizable. Section says if any complaint is given by registrar or shareholder or member, that also offence cognizable. Therefore, it is not that only the offences that has been provided under section 212 subsection 6 is a cognizable offence. It is also, it goes to say that any complaint filed by registrar or shareholder member, that also should be deemed as a offence cognizable one. So now coming back to the SFIO, Serious Fraud Investigation Office. Today their power is not like an external agency as it was under 1956 Act, but today under 2013 Act, Serious Fraud Investigation Office is an enforcement authority. It is given a power of police authority when they enter into the premises for investigation, whether it's a premises of the company or the premises of the connected person. The Serious Fraud Investigation Officer is given a power to arrest a person if he has committed any fraud, he has committed any malpractices. Then the officer is given a power to arrest a person then and there and take and present to the judicial magistrate. In fact, you will be wondering to know this particular action will be rendered, could be rendered under Criminal Procedure Code only police officers. But first time under the provisions of Companies Act, this power has been carved out and given in the hands of the Serious Fraud Investigation Office. Now you will understand seriousness of the Serious Fraud Investigation Office, because the Serious Fraud Investigation Office, once they make out the offence, if they are able to understand the offence, they can directly arrest a person and present before magistrate. Even they can prepare a police report under section 170 of Criminal Procedure Code and file it before magistrate. Therefore, they need not to look back and depend on any police authorities. They themselves have a power to directly take a person into custody and present before the magistrate for the suitable action. Therefore, let us understand today that it's not like earlier where if any offence is committed, a complaint will be filed by registrar of company under the instruction of Ministry of Corporate Affairs. They used to they file a complaint with the magistrate court. Magistrate court give a summons and they do entire trial process. Then after they make out the offence, they arrest a person. So all this process now made simpler, and the entire power to arrest is given in the hands of SFIO, and then the process starts with the magistrate court. Therefore, it is very important to understand today how serious the law, because earlier scams that were taken place in our country, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, without any other choice, they have to bring this kind of provision, giving powers to the enforcement authority called SFIO to make sure they are plugging loopholes and see that the company and the person connected to the company is properly conducting the affairs of the company without getting into wrong activities. Okay, I'll see you with some other update. Thank you for patient hearing.